everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts. Another one about 2 months after the other one. This is episode 16, I believe. 16 episodes in a year and a half that I've been doing this now. That's less than one episode per month. You know, hey, I'm still doing it though, at least whenever I can. It's hard to find the time, as I complain about in every single episode. The time, the motivation, it's all got to come together for a moment like this. This time, our time, right now. It is February 22nd, 2022. Lots of twos. I'm sure that means something to someone. And how's everyone doing? Hope everyone's been well. Hope everyone's doing good. I got the wife out there and the daughter out there. No doors in this house. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned that before. So, you know, if I say anything hugely, disagreeable or that my wife disagrees with, I'm sure we'll all hear about it. I'll try not to make her cringe too much. But hey, this is the show. So what's been going on in life? This is just, I don't even know what to call these episodes. I don't know if I should add titles to the episodes where I'm not talking about a specific topic or not. But I'm just, trying to find my groove still. And I kind of wanted to use this episode to talk about just things that are going on. I've attempted this before. I called it Random Thoughts, but I'm not going to call it that every single time because there's going to be a lot of times where I don't have a specific topic. I'm just going to shoot the breeze. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. Still got a lot of big plans for this podcast. Of course, we have the good cuppeth of the good drank, the black gold. Drinking a Cameron's coffee. Very good. One of the best brands that I've been drinking for a few years now. I think they're out of Minnesota, which I think Caribou is too. So you Minnesota people, your Akawa, your Cafefe. Good stuff. This is their Gold Roast Hawaiian blend. It's like supposed to be made from like 10% Hawaiian coffee. Who knows if that's true or not? But it's very good. So yeah, great start. But I'm still trying to figure what I even want this podcast to be like. I don't know if I should add just like some random titles to the ones where I'm just talking about whatever is going on. But yeah, I do have big, somewhat big plans to expand this thing a little bit. Another mic, maybe another person, mayhaps, would be very cool. I know I could have some good guests that would be willing to be on. So, be working towards that. New computer. Just upgrading. But for now, you get the same old Deep Thoughts tonight. And whenever it comes out, it comes out. You know the deal. So, yeah, what's been going on in my life? Just working at the old hot dog factory. Flipping them dogs, flipping them wieners. It's great. I love it. I just moved to day shift, which is wonderful, which is why I get to be home with my wonderful family at 7 o'clock p.m. It's pretty sweet. So that's going well. Recently, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I did see a doctor about it, and I have an appointment with a GI doctor about it next month, in April, a month and a half. I got a little sicky. I got a little sick. a few weeks ago, and I thought it was the vid. I thought finally I had succumbed to corona, but so I took a test at work, and they sent me home for 5 days, which was wonderful. But I ended up not having it. But I was actually sick, and I noticed it was happening after I was eating certain foods, a lot of those foods, overindulging a bit in the sweets, the cakes, the donuts, all the good ones, all the hits. And I got really sick, like fever sick, headache. I was throwing up, and just a pain in my stomach. I couldn't poop. I was constipated. Worst of all, I need my daily poop. And so I saw the doctor about it, and my doctor was thinking that it might be some kind of, a form of pancreatitis. Maybe acute pancreatitis, perhaps. My pancreas is hurt. It can't process these fatty foods as well anymore, from what I read about it. And so basically what happens when I overconsume too much, usually fatty foods, it stops breaking it down. Things get clogged up. Things just go awry. I don't know words. But, yeah, man, it sucks. I'm feeling great right now, though. I've made slight changes in my diet. I've been actually doing pretty well. I do have some cheat days, if you will. But I try to stick to more fat-free stuff. I switched to almond milk. I don't do regular milk anymore. I'm officially transitioning into actual womanhood. I like it. I like it a lot. It's good. It's good stuff. Feeling good, though. Feeling all right. Just got to watch what I eat. Other than that, though, not much going on. Okay, what's going on in the world? There's so much going on. So much going on in this country, in countries bordering our country, in countries across the ocean. Lots of stuff going on. Lots of good stuff in the story of life to keep us entertained. Don't get distracted, folks. I know there's a lot to pay attention to. But you gotta try. You gotta try, okay? You gotta try to stay involved in the most important things that are going on that affect human beings and society and civilization and the future. I've been hearing a lot about a lot lately from, I don't know why, but just kind of randomly. I've been hearing people say how I'm not political. I don't either care about politics or it's not my life. I don't let it, consume me and yada, yada, yada. Yet they still have an opinion about political things like all the time. They just are picky about it. But, this is a bad time to not be involved politically. I mean, we've let, not even just in America, but people all across the world have let their governments run rampant with corruption and power. And it's affecting our lives today. So for you to even scoff at the idea that people would be so obsessed with politics and how even that might be even a bad thing. Listen, it's not for everybody. If you just want to be strung along life and not pay attention, then okay. But don't complain so much. You guys complain so much. The most, maybe. But then you don't go out and vote for your mayors and your municipal judges and your city council, You're not taking care of business, on your front lawn, but you're wanting to complain on the world stage or about the world, Get involved a little more, maybe. I'm trying. It's tough. It's tough to find the time, though. It really is. There's just so much going on. Let's start with something called Russiagate, shall we? And this is something that's not being talked about enough. But maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I'm hoping one day that it just blows up in everyone's face because I've been talking about it for nearly 4 years now. Back in the days when it was just called an alt-right conspiracy theory. It's proven true now. So what's been going on is this guy, John Durham, who was appointed by, at one point, Trump's Attorney General Bill Barr, old BB, appointed John Durham to look into the origins of this investigation into the story of when Trump got elected, that he worked with Russians or had some ties to the Kremlin, and that the Russians hampered the election to get him to win. We had the whole 2.5 year investigation, which came out as the Mueller report by Bob Mueller, and it was a poof, nothing. It was 400 pages or whatever, 500 pages of nothing. Wasted money, taxpayers' money, wasted time on the news when we could have been paying attention to more important things. People seem to like to, already forget about the whole Trump-Russia thing, But this investigation is still going on. I believe this is from, I didn't list my sources, but did take some notes. I believe this is from Fox News, foxnews.com. But former DNI, which I believe is the Deputy of National Intelligence, I don't know, Director of National Intelligence, something like that. Ratcliffe, John Ratcliffe, I believe is his first name. He just came out recently saying that he thinks there's enough evidence to support multiple indictments in John Durham's probe. Now, Ratcliffe, he says a lot of good stuff. He says a lot of good, interesting things. And I think he, especially since he left that position of DNI, I'm forgetting some stuff, though. I can't remember who took his place. That was, man, I can't remember. I used to know everyone's names so well. But somebody else ended up taking his place. And once Ratcliffe kind of left, he started spilling a lot of beans. Spilling them beans, lad. Lots of beans about things like this and the whole Russia probe. But he has, according to this article, met with Durham on more than one occasion and told him that there was evidence to support multiple indictments in this investigation of the Trump-Russia probe. The origins of it. How did this all start? Durham has already indicted 3 people so far since 2019, I believe. People who it's found through this investigation who have admitted to lying to the FBI about certain things about Trump's ties with Russia. That's big. Not only that, but there was a declassified piece of intel reported by Fox back in October 2020 that revealed that the intelligence community officials forwarded an investigative referral on Clinton approving a plan concerning Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections as a means of distracting the public from her use of a private email server. Remember that? 2016 seems so long ago now, doesn't it? But you remember that? Remember Hillary's emails and stuff like that? You remember that? Remember Trump staying in Trump Tower? Now, you can go back, and I might include some clips if I can. Trump was crying, that his phones were tapped and he was spied on from the beginning. And the news lambasted him as just spewing nonsense and conspiracy theories. And look, dude, 5 years later, people have been caught lying about that. To the point where one guy, Igor Danchenko, was charged with lying. Igor Danchenko, was charged with lying to the FBI about the source of info from the Steele dossier. You remember the Steele dossier? You remember that? Remember that one? That British spy who came up with a reason why people should spy on Trump to get visa applications to take to a visa judge to spy on him? Remember that? I mean, that whole thing has fallen apart, has crumbled, man. I've argued with people on Facebook about this. And it's just crazy how it's all, I was right. A lot of people were right. But it's years later and nobody cares anymore because, other goings-ons. But yeah, man, he lied about that, the source of info from the Steele dossier. And I don't know if Steele himself has been investigated or man, I wish I can't really look things up right now, but or if, if he's just finally admitted the whole thing was like fabricated, but I know at one point John McCain was tied to this. He gave the go ahead on spying because he read the dossier. Who knows if he knew it was made up or not? I don't know, but it all started with that from this Steele dossier. And it was bogus. It was bogus from the very beginning, and it launched this huge multi-million-dollar investigation and spying and spying. I mean, is anyone going to care? Are we going to accept this moving forward, that it's just okay to spy on your political candidate and come up with, there's you always have during campaigns candidates ads attacking another candidate. But this is just insane. This is going so far. You're literally tapping their phones and making up stories that they're working with other countries. That's serious accusations, serious lies, and everyone involved should be held accountable. Now, who does this go to? We already know. I mean, it's proven. This is Hillary Clinton's brainchild, kind of. This is her plan, supposedly to distract the public from the use of her private email server. Now, I don't think that email server is done, folks. I don't think those emails are done. Supposedly, there's still like 30,000 deleted emails or whatever. Can they be recovered? I think so. The things that came out in the email server were not nearly probably the worst to be able to come out. For Hillary Clinton to want to come up with a whole thing that Trump is working with Russians, and she even tweeted about it too. People are digging this stuff up now. I mean, she literally claimed that he was working with the Kremlin. What an accusation. What an accusation. There must be some serious emails in there that she does not want the public to see, or anybody for that matter. Kevin Kleinsmith was also indicted for making a false statement, as well as Michael Sussman. Now, it is also proven in these declassified documents. I don't know if they're actual. I mean, yeah, they're documents somewhere, I guess, but I haven't actually read them myself. But all right, had to charge my daughter's tablet. You know how it goes, being a parent in year 2022. But man, yeah, it's crazy how it's, for one, how this stuff is taking time. Kind of sucks, but the wheels of justice move slow, but they are moving. That's a little quote from a little letter that I know of. It's crazy how, again, I have to bring it up, how I was reading about this stuff, reading QAnon stuff and Q stuff. 4 years ago. And, I'm not going to say that everything Q has talked about or what's talked about in the community by, Annons and everybody that follows it is true. We're going to be proven true. But this one was, this was the most, realistic one. And when I brought this to the table on social media, people thought it was, the craziest thing. And I was like, what? You can't believe that? Well, for one, you either can't believe that a political opponent, spied on their, or a political candidate spied on their opponent. But also, I remember somebody, very specifically, who's a very, very dumb person, was like, well, what's wrong with that? And it's like, whoa, wait, what? What are we doing here? What are we going to allow moving forward? What are we willing to put up with? Why? That's not okay. That's not okay. I know we just kind of accept that people just, in politics are just dirty people and they just do things like that, but it's not okay. And when they're being investigated into, and these are crimes, and they're being shown to the public, we need to be like, yes, okay, now bring in justice, try them in a court of law, do it the right way, put them away for everyone to know and see on record. Okay? Only 3 indictments so far, but Mr. Ratcliffe, I recommend that people start following wherever you can. Richard Grinnell, that's the guy who took over for Ratcliffe, Richard Grinnell. Great guy. One of them is, a gay man, and that's totally cool. But remember, Trump appointed them. Trump appointed a gay man to work with him. And let's just remember that. Okay, let's just remember that. The first gay DNI was appointed by Donald Trump. Remember that. But yeah, he believes that there's so much evidence to support multiple indictments. You'll see people teasing. I remember Trump Jr. was talking about Durham like last year or the year before, you think? Like saying like he needs to step it up. We need to see things. We need to hear things. We need to know how this investigation is going on. And it's so quiet, but things are happening. They're happening. This is proof. Hillary Clinton had Donald Trump spied on. Now, there's also a little bit of information that came out that Mr. Barack Obama was briefed by John Brennan, his CIA guy, director, CIA or whatever John Brennan was, Mr. Trash Man, briefed Obama on this plan. What did Obama say? Dude, how much did he have to do with this? Did the outgoing president spy on a candidate? Why? Why would he do that? Why would he be okay with that? Ooh, it's just getting so good. More to come. And I love seeing that it's there's still things happening. Comes into the news cycle every once in a while. Of course, usually by right-wing sources and by Fox. It really is a shame that Don Lemon isn't talking about this. Don Lemon would rather talk about Joe Rogan, which is going to be a separate episode. It's got to be. Yeah, man. I look forward to seeing more of Mr. John Durham's probe and his findings. Moving on. What's going on in Canada with these truckers? Another thing that's kind of being talked about, kind of not. I kind of just briefed myself on the whole story. But I guess for a little while now, truckers in Canada, thousands of them, have been protesting some like the mandates, I think specifically vaccine mandates in Canada that were either happening or going to happen. I guess they've set up like roadblocks and things, supposedly. I've heard that they're being framed as misogynists and racists and terrorists. It's probably more of the extreme side, but it's interesting to see that happen in Canada, as well as it's been happening in the United States. If you're against like the vaccine or you're for anything that involves some kind of conspiracy theory or right-wing conspiracy theory or anything like that, they're quick to go to the racist, misogynist thing. Come on, we know this. We've seen this. We've seen this playbook, and it's being used in Canada. No different. Canada actually, Justin Trudeau, Mr. I don't even. Mr. Trudeau. I don't even know what to say. Mr. Castro. I don't know. Mr. Socialist commie. Mr. Good looking commie. He's trying to pass a national emergency, claiming these truckers are causing some sort of harm. Now, I guess in order to declare a national emergency, there has to be some harm to the Canadian people or to the sovereignty of provinces or the country. The Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms actually said some very powerful words about it. And they said that if, for one, there's no reason to declare a national emergency. They claim that there's plenty of video evidence to show that these truckers are not harming Canadians or doing anything harmful to the sovereignty of provinces or the country. I don't know how to word that. And it has something to do with the sovereignty, though. and they, they claim that these protesters are literally like feeding homeless people. They're like setting up bounce castles for kids, and so there's no evidence of the protest being anything other than peaceful. Oh, my daughter's got scratched by the cat. She just never learns. But so anyway, yeah, that's coming from the Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms. That if this declaration were even to go through, that they would be quick to file a court application against it. I don't know, and apparently I've heard some mixed things about this whole thing about Trudeau trying to have truckers' bank accounts frozen. Maybe I guess supposedly it's only from foreign money or something, which still it's like why even do that still? Why do anything other than support you know these protests? I mean, you don't have to support them, but support like Trudeau should just be like, hey, I don't agree with what you guys are saying, but you have every right to protest, right? Does Canada have every right to protest? Is that in their constitution? I don't even know. I don't know. I'm sure it is. Why go through extra trouble by trying to declare national emergencies? I mean, different, country, different situation, I guess. But imagine if that happened in the United States during certain protests. What if Trump and co start were yes. Well, what if Trump and co started freezing the bank accounts of Black Lives Matter protesters, or anybody involved in that? People would have been in an uproar. But here they're doing it over in Canada to these truckers, just because they're against these mandates. I guess provinces that have already rejected this declaration are New Brunswick, Quebec, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. It's not going to happen. I watched a video actually from some of these protesters saying, it's a scare tactic. Don't fall for it. It's not going to happen. It doesn't look like it will. But the audacity, the gall to even try to interfere or stop these protests or frame them as something that they're not, that they're dangerous or anything like that. I mean, you got to look at the evidence yourself. Like I said, we seen this playbook. This is again, you could slightly relate it to the Black Lives Matter protests and stuff that were happening, a couple of years ago. Some people were framing them as dangerous and violent, and a lot of people were framing them as not dangerous and violent, that they were peaceful. But apparently, according to the Justice Center of Constitutional Freedoms, there's a plethora of evidence to show that these truckers are not causing any harm. They're not tossing Molotovs. They're not breaking into businesses. They're not stealing TVs. They're setting up bouncy castles, dude. I don't know. I wish them the best. A lot of people don't believe in these mandates, and they have every right to protest them in every country, and they are. People are protesting this stuff all around the world. Mask mandates and vaccine mandates. Majority of human beings are not for these things. A majority of human beings who care about their individual freedoms are not supporting these mandates. It's the people who have lost their senses or all sense of what their freedom is, or the fact that they even have the freedom to be for these mandates. They don't understand what these mandates are literally treading on that freedom. And those people would not fight for freedom at all. They wouldn't. Even if you agree with vaccines, and I watched a good video by Mr. Russell Brand. I've been liking him lately. Who would have thought Russell Brand would be the voice of reason today? that showed a statistic that like 90-some% of truckers in Canada are like vaccinated. So a lot of these people are vaccinated. They just don't think you should be forced to be vaccinated. I'm vaccinated, but I don't believe in a mandate at all. I had to get vaccinated to keep my job. I don't believe in that at all. Nobody should have to choose between that. But I did. I had to. And it should just keep my job. And now my DNA is probably being messed with. No, I took the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So there's just a bunch of baby butt cream flowing through my veins. I'm okay. I'm okay. 1 dose, baby. 1 dose. Yeah, I don't know. I can't help but, let my bias get in the way a little bit. But majority of people are not for these mandates, and they're going to fight and protest and push back. And the people that mock them and scoff at them and claim that and try to frame them as bad people at all, that they're hateful, racist, or things like that. I don't get it. I don't know what evidence they're seeing, but I don't think it's evidence at all. I think they're just hearing things and just believing it because it goes along with their bias and what they already believe. That anybody who's against a vaccine must be a part of so-and-so group. It's just not the case. So that's what's going on in Canada. Let's move on over to Russia and Ukraine. So much going on. What's going on there? Well, Russia, I guess, has been at Ukraine's border. Recently, though, Russia claims to have that they were just doing drills, and drills are over, and they're moving troops back. Just today, actually, I think Joe Biden came out and said, that he thinks that, because after Russia did that, I guess they moved some troops away. They did something else. I'll have to look into it. Like I said, I can't look it up right now. But they just did something else today that claimed certain regions of Ukraine or something like that. And to Biden, that was, basically the invasion, according to him. They're invading Ukraine. And so he felt the need to put sanctions on Russia. What those sanctions involve, I don't know. I could try to look it up, but I don't think my computer's going to cooperate. And so I just heard about that today. Because he was just, he kept claiming that, he thinks war could break out anytime. And he had people around him be like, no, no war. And Biden's just up there like, Russia's going to invade Ukraine. Not cool, man. The Ukraine situation is so icky sticky that I would have to reread over it. And I was for a little bit to prepare for this, but I didn't prepare well enough. If people, don't remember, back in like 2013, 2014, there was a whole revolution going on in Ukraine as protests broke out and things got hairy. Once, I believe, it has something to do with called the Color Revolution. I think it got kicked off because people were protesting the streets, and a soldier, I believe, or a policeman or somebody shot one of the protesters, and just havoc broke loose. I remember that happening, some of that stuff actually happening several years ago, and seeing a lot of it in the news. And there was a lot of ordeal with Ukraine. Something special about Ukraine. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm sure that, every nation's special in their own way. But there's something about having control of that area that must be very important right now. Because, under the Obama administration, they seem like they really wanted Russia to stay out of there. And Russia feels very determined to keep parts of Ukraine or control of Ukraine. For some reason, I don't fully know what's going on over there. I like this that this is at least being talked about a lot. It's being reported on a lot. And I personally am not one of these people afraid of Russia. I mean, like I said, we can go back to the whole Russiagate thing, how they just built this whole narrative around a scary Russia and fear Putin. I don't fear Putin. Nope, not one bit. Um, I think there's something to be said about countries who are very nationalistic, and besides maybe China, um, I'm not saying there can't be. No, go somewhere else right now. Um, it can be a negative thing, but the thing about countries who are very nationalistic is they usually like to keep to themselves. Um, they don't want world domination and to expand territories and things like that. Um, I think Russia's cool. I think they just want to do their own thing and prosper. And what country wouldn't? I Something's very important about Ukraine, though. Very, very important. I just feel so bad for all the citizens who are just getting caught in the middle of this mess. Um, Obviously, like so, you have two sides. You have like the pro-Russia side and the, I guess, anti-Russian side. Um, Russia, and you think they're moving in or trying to do something. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Oh, what else happened recently? Maybe we'll move on to little sports. Um, well, we just had the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago, won by the Los Angeles Rams, the Ramos. You know, they were my pick to win against, I think they played the Patriots a couple of years, like Tom Brady's like last year with the Patriots. That was like one of the, and then of course the Chiefs beat them, which was a good game. And I don't know, I'm cool with it. I think the Rams are a good team. I don't know. Of course, a lot of people in this area around where I'm at were very butthurt that the Chiefs didn't make it to the Super Bowl again. I'm okay with that. But I think it was crazy to see all the teams that were in the playoffs this year. You know, to see the 49ers beat the Packers. I for real thought it was going to be Packers and Chiefs. I really did. But of course, you had another chance with the Buccaneers, but then they went down. I can't believe the 49ers, you know, made it as far as they did. But they did. I almost thought they were going to the Super Bowl. And then the Bengals, dude. The Bengals. Good team, man. That Joe Burrow. It's cool to see these teams, I don't know, be good. Especially when your team's just a loser team. Yeah, especially when your team is a loser team like the Houston Texans. And you just, you know you're not going to be in the playoffs anytime soon. So you try to have fun watching the other boys play. It was good playoffs, good football. Lots of good playoff games, man. So many games were won by like just a field goal. And I didn't even watch all the Super Bowl. I don't know why. Even though I knew it would have been a good game, I just wasn't that interested in watching this year. I know the halftime show apparently was like the best ever. I figured when I heard the lineup. Almost spat that up. Went down the wrong pipe, as they say. I don't know if that's scientifically true or not. I don't know if there is a wrong pipe. But if there is, it went down it. But, yeah, so it's cool. It's cool. I do have, mixed feelings about a team moving from the Midwest out to a place like Los Angeles who, just needed another sports team, apparently. They needed themselves a football team. Well, they have the Chargers moved to Los Angeles. So it's just like, wow, cool. LA gets to party. They haven't done that enough, with like their Lakers and stuff. I don't know. But something funny happened. Something funny happened at their parade. I'll have to show the video. At the parade for the LA Rams, the Super Bowl champions, this person, I don't have her name here, was taking pictures. She's a camera person. She was taking pictures of Matthew Stafford, the quarterback for the Rams. He used to play for the Lions. And his wife. And apparently she fell off the stage that they were on and broke her back. No, that's not even the best part, though. On video, caught live. And she fell, and right away, Matt Stafford just did one of these. Just like turned around and left. while his wife, like, you know, kind of went down to her, like, oh my goodness, you know. He just turned around and walked away. Just walked away. Some people had some things to say about that, like, come on, Stafford, come on. I think I read one tweet from, like, some NBC anchor that was like, come on, Matt Stafford, like, you should help that woman. I think lots of people would have helped that woman, try to help that woman. Am I right? Or something like that. I don't know. Funny stuff. But he reached out to her and is gonna like pay for all of her hospital expenses and a new camera. But yeah, like fractured her spine or something. What a nasty fall. But in other sports news, the Olympics is going on. Did you know that? Did you? The Winter Olympics in Beijing. How many times has it been in Beijing? I feel like it's been in Beijing before. Has the Summer Olympics been in Beijing? I don't know. The Olympics are going on. I don't really ever care. I haven't cared since Michael Phelps. Those were the good old days of America winning, you know. I like that we usually tear it up in basketball, although I think we lost the last time in basketball. But this is the Winter Olympics. I really don't watch the Winter Olympics. I do remember watching one year, though, where a luger person who luges or whatever, or sleds, I think it's a bobsled thing, died during, like, practice drills. I remember that. That happened on, like, live TV. And they had to, like, stop talking about it. I think they cut away, and then they like mentioned it, and then they were just like, we can't even show the replay of it, and it was like very hard to find on the internet because I tried to look it up. I was like, did I just see that? Because I'm pretty sure like you saw it. Like I'm pretty sure I saw it happen, if my memory serves me right. But I have terrible memory, so it does not serve me right most of the time. But I remember, that, I try to tune into the Olympics, I guess. I guess that's what people do, but it just don't feel the same these days. The Olympics was supposed to be, it's supposed to be a real, just think about it. Like, all these countries are getting together to play, like, games, It's kind of childlike, but fun and competitive, and, people get to be proud of the people who are representing them in their countries, when they win them goldy medals. And so I feel like it should be more important than what it is now, but the world just don't feel right now. Maybe we just shouldn't do the Olympics for a while, for like 10 years. I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same. I don't know. There's always like a celebrity that comes out in the Olympics, right? I guess every country probably does this, but, in America, like I said, you had Michael Phelps was the big hero, and then you had that runner, Simone Biles. Remember Usain Bolt? Usain Bolt was so cool. There's always, like, some really, like, glorified, celebrified, like, athlete in the Olympics. Remember the ice skater guy? What was his name? Yoko Ono? Or what was his name? For real. It was during the same Olympics as Michael Phelps, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. There's always somebody being the next best thing. I don't really know who it is this Olympics. I haven't really seen. But I do know that a music group by the name of Heavy Young Heathens, I don't know. I'm sorry. Filed a lawsuit against NBC and U.S. figure skating pair Alexa Nyram and Brandon Fraser for using a song during their performance without permission, I guess. The song is House of the Rising Sun, which does sound like a familiar song name. I don't know. I haven't heard it that I know of. But and they're trying to sue them for NBC for airing it, I guess, and also the skating pair for just using it without permission. Like, how desperate are you for some residuals, or how desperate are you for money? Like, dude, like, I don't know. I'm not in a music group who makes money off my music, but it goes back to the whole like Napster thing. Like when music groups started coming out, against like downloading music illegally, and it's just, I just wonder how much money people are really missing out on to complain about it. It's like, I'll still always look at it as like free promotion. Somebody might hear that song, watching this skating pair win their silver medal, and be like, whoa, what song was that was playing? I'm gonna look that up. Oh, that's House of the Rising Sun. It's by a group named Heavy Young Heathens. Well, let me check out their album. Maybe I'll spend a little money on their music now that I have found out about them through this song, through this free promotion. It's kind of like the whole like Nintendo thing, which we'll get into. Nintendo being very against people playing their games. They think that's like illegal to play their games online and put YouTube videos of them. It's free promotion, man. I mean, I think the evidence is there. It's got to be, right? I mean, empirical evidence. Myself, when I see certain video games being played and I get really like interested in watching it, I usually want to go out and play the game and buy it. With music, not so much. I'd rather just listen to music free all the time. Sorry, I don't pay music artists at all. I don't buy anything on iTunes. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just a jerk. I don't know. Most of these people are so filthy stinking rich, though. Anyways, it's like, or some of them are bankrupt and they need to sue a couple ice skating people. So yeah, that's what's going on in the Olympics. I think the U.S. is 4th in golds behind China. In 3rd, and Norway is leading in golds. Good for them. Good for Norway. Good for the Norwegians. They have a lot to be proud of. They got that good old Norwegian wood. That's cool. Yeah, that's what's going on in the Olympics. So yeah, let's move on to, how about video games? So this is kind of what I want to do. I don't mean to break fourth wall here, but this is what I kind of want to do with these kinds of episodes. I want to make sure I'm going through different topics, world news, sports, video games, things that interest me, really. But also, make sure I have enough to talk about, some good notes. I suck at taking notes. I remember the last 2 episodes I did this where I'm just talking about random things was just so terrible. It's so bad. This is a little more organized, I guess. But in the video game world, I read an article from Kotaku about Nintendo removing their store for the Wii and the 3DS now. So you can't purchase games digitally on those platforms. Apparently, the Video Game History Foundation is not happy with Nintendo doing this because they're, I guess they're a foundation that I don't even know. They preserve old games, I guess, from gaming companies, specifically like Nintendo. And now they're not able to. Okay. It's not a Deep Thoughts episode without some interruptions. But so I guess they're this Game History Foundation, Video Game History Foundation, doesn't like this because they feel Nintendo is actively funding lobbying that prevents libraries from being able to provide legal access to games. So I guess like this foundation is a way to preserve these games for people to access legally, instead of going around to the illegal route of downloading their games, and which Nintendo has made very difficult, especially as far as like emulators and stuff go. Nintendo's pretty hardcore about that stuff. So now by removing these stores, I guess it makes it even harder for institutional work, like by the Video Game History Foundation, to legally preserve these games. I don't know, man. I guess that's just the messy world we're in now of games being digital and not, being more focused on hard copies, physical copies. Can't you just go buy the game cartridge? Like, I don't know. I guess of course, once so much time goes on, they stop making copies of the games, but they'll always be in circulation. You would think. There's always gonna be like eBay and stuff. So I don't get the big deal necessarily. Like, but Nintendo has this. I don't know. Again, it's just the world of digital gaming. Every company's kind of got their store. The PlayStation Store, the Nintendo eShop, to go onto there and purchase the games digitally. And Nintendo's, they know people are super into the nostalgia. They know their fan base. There's a bunch of 35-year-olds who still love them some Super Nintendo and things like that. So they create these, libraries of old games, ever since the Wii with the Virtual Console. And they come out with things like the NES Mini and the Super Nintendo Mini, while also having a section on the eShop to purchase those exact same games. And you can just keep rebuying these old games over and over and over again. They keep, making it easy for you, but they keep making you pay too. I still have all my original copies and cartridges of Super Nintendo games, So if these games all disappear, as long as my Super Nintendo's kicking, I'm good. I can play Donkey Kong Country anytime I want, Super Mario World, as long as that stuff works. But I guess obviously, the downside is when it doesn't work anymore, it's nice to have that digital copy or a different way to play those games. So, I mean, Nintendo be Nintendo. Sometimes they're just a little too uptight. But in the long run, I think Nintendo's always going to bring a way for them to provide their own classic games to people, because they know how important it is to us Nintendo nerds. So I don't think it's going to be too much of a big deal as this video game History and Foundation is making out to be. And that's all I got. That's all I got really for this episode. I'll try to come up with more stuff next time. There is, like I said, a quick controversy I'll be coming out with here soon too. And there's still another big Deep Thoughts episode project that's centered around one topic that I've been working on for months. It has to do with a lot of reading a very large book, rereading, and there's just a lot I want to talk about with it. So I still don't know when that one's going to be ready to go. Should be at episode 17. But I'll have a quick controversy coming out here soon on this Rogan situation. I'll put my 2 cents in. And we're going to keep trucking, just like them Canadian protesters. I'll pop in every month or so with a new Deep Thoughts, Hopefully I can add some more skit content or comedic content or, to my channel. Whatever I think about, whatever I end up doing, if it's worth it to me, I'll upload it, I know I do this for me. I've brought that up many times as well. I know a couple friends and, my mommy and daddy, not my daddy, but my mommy watches this. And I guess that's good enough for me, because I really just do it to get my thoughts out on things. Whoever watches or listens or watches. And whatever like I said, content I think of that I feel like is worth putting my time and energy into to upload, I will. I want to continue to keep this YouTube channel going, so I will try. I'm also still trying to do the comedy thing. I did stand-up a couple weeks ago, and I'll be doing stand-up again here probably next week, possibly this Saturday. I'll hit an open mic up, just practicing, just working on the material. And that's what's going on in my life right now. So I hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone is living their best life. Take care of yourself. Take care of your families. That's all, That's what most reasonable things we can do in this big, complex, complicated world where horrible things are happening all around us. But get involved politically in your local politics. I think it's important. If you really do care about having a sane and safe future, then start to get a little bit involved. If not, then just, go back to wondering what the Tiger King's up to, and then the Carol Baskins and all that, and just try to enjoy life. I love you all. And remember to think freely, think often. I'll see you next time.